Hello and welcome along to another episode of this FM22 story, The Head Coach, with me, Daniel. We're back today for part 80 and it is crunch time in the Premier League and the domestic cups. Today we go away to our former side Crystal Palace, who are having a poor season but are capable of posing a threat against us. And then we face Liverpool away for the second episode in a row, but this time in the fifth round of the FA Cup, and we know how strong Liverpool are in cup competitions. We've got injuries again, a few of those coming back from the last episode, but now we've picked up one or two more in a midweek Europa Conference game that didn't really have much riding on it either. So if you're looking forward to finding out how we get on, whether we can stay well clear in this title race, then please do put a thumbs up on it. We want to win something this year, whether it's a Premier League, a Europa Conference, an FA Cup. I don't know that the Europa Conference counts well enough, so we've got to try and get one of the domestic ones. If you want to stay up to date and find out if we can, subscribe down below and turn that notification bell on. You might be able to see from the top right of the screen, Athletic Bilbao are our opponents in the last 8 of Europe, so it's difficult in all competitions now. And we've got an absolute doozy of an episode coming tomorrow in our FM22 One Club story with Hemel. I'll put the last one in the eye above, which was dramatic to say the least. But thank you as always for your support as we get going against our former club. And firstly, I'm afraid it's back to injuries again. If we go and show you the schedule quickly for what's been happening since you were last here. There we go. You were with me at the end of last month for that ridiculous 4-4 draw against Chelsea where we bottled it in the last minute. We have been better since, but it's been easier games. And the positive is, our running's not too bad on paper either. But the first one was a 3-1 win at Southampton, a side we managed in last year's head coach, Inacio and a Rashford brace wrapping up the 3 points there. A 2-0 win at Dinamo Moscow, it should have been about 20 in truth, but in the end, Voloshin got an early second half goal, and Jesus Bissone wrapped it up late on in a tie. A 5-1 win at home to Watford, Bruno Fernandes hat-trick including a penalty, with Rashford and Jaloka adding to the tally, and then a 3-0 win in a reverse fixture in Europe. But 2 injuries in the first half an hour, and for Voloshin, it's 3 months he's going to be out for. So that's the end of his first season at the club. Thompson, Shirky and Pavati got the goals for us though, and I now look ahead to the rest of the season with just a hope that we can keep people fit, because as you can see, Mbappe made his comeback off the bench in that game. Pavati is continuing his comeback very gradually, the likes of Shirky back in too. So there are signs that we're getting our full strength side back. With us still competing on 3 fronts, maybe down to 2 after today, it is important that we've got as many fit as possible. So let's go and get into the first of today's 2 games. The dynamics are looking good. I do have one thing to show you first though, which I almost forgot about. Yesterday, in our messages, we got a new youth intake. And in truth, most of it wasn't very good. But there's one pretty decent young player. So 1-star ability striker with 3.5 potential. That's Eddie Cliff. Now, he can't really finish, but he looks like he might be a good midfielder moving forward. Certainly at Championship, maybe even Premier League level. Got the passing ability, maybe would suit being a number 10, but perhaps the vision just not quite good enough. There are a couple of others with a little bit of potential. Lots from all over the world, of course, but at the moment, there's none that really stand out and none that we can bank on making it. So I think for now, the best of the bunch is the one we'd already met. We'll just see how they all develop. Into the first game though, it's former club Crystal Palace having a shocking season without us. But you've got to bear in mind, they chose to hire Niko Kovac, who got sacked by United for finishing 6th last year below Crystal Palace. And for whatever you say about this squad here at United, they should never be outside the top 4 or below the Palace side we managed last year. As has been proven this time around, Palace are a mid-table club, we were slightly overachieving, and Manchester United were doing awfully under Kovac. No trophy in 4 years, we're getting closer to changing it, but the pressure is on. I've got to show you why City are still 5 points behind us and Chelsea 6. Manchester City are just the enigma of the season. They've won it 4 years in a row. If we go and have a look at earlier in the season where they won 11-0 against Brighton, and then last time they played them, they lost 4-3. Can someone please explain to me how on earth this stuff happens? They've also gone out of the FA Cup and the Champions League this month, so they are fighting now just for the Premier League, and I don't know if that gives them an advantage. But they've got a much tougher run in than us, though based on the games they've dropped points before, that might actually be a good thing for them. Chelsea, they're up there as well, but again, Stupid defeats occasionally. The Sheffield United one, the Tottenham one, the draw with us, of course. Then they lost 5-0 in the first leg to Barcelona. So they'll be down to 2 competitions now. It is not looking good for them either. Into the game we go, though, through the tactical meeting. I'm going to have to rotate a bit because the Liverpool game is in 3 days' time. Then Newcastle 3 days after that. And really, the FA Cup has got pressure on it now because we didn't go and win the League Cup. Siganov, Kurt Zouma, Selly and Boyer. They've got some quality players there. I'm guessing Zouma is a new addition. Another over 30 they'll be bringing into their club. He's 36 years of age. They brought in a player from River Plate as well who's 20 and a bit younger and better, but maybe not first team ready yet. A very strange year from Crystal Palace, it's got to be said. I'm not quite sure how they can be expected to compete moving forward. We got out just in time, and now we've got to pick our strongest 11. I'll be back in a minute to run through it. Well, it may be a slight risk, but Sonny Pavati played an hour in midweek due to those injuries, so he's going to stay on the bench today with Bordenelli at left back. The ones that I'm looking to replace really later on in this game, probably Rashford, Fernandes and Yakubu. I feel the ones that are going to be most important as we head towards midweek. Obviously, we've got Mbappe coming back from injury. We've got some good youngsters on the bench. But this is the 11 we've gone for. It is full strength, bar Mbappe, bar the other injuries, and bar, of course, Pavati. It's Ilian Meslier in goal, Gaia and Bordenelli the fullbacks with Fofana and Inacio centre-half, and Ponza and Jalocca in the middle, Yakubu, Fernandes and Zolis the attacking midfield 3, and then Rashford up front. Bit of a mixed bag at the minute, but Fernandes behind him is performing brilliantly. Now, the problem we've seen with Kovac before, both here and at Palace earlier in the season, is he loves that flat 4-4-2. It looks like he's going for it again. Let's see if it pays off this time. As in we go, it is the usual front 2, and it's still a very familiar side. Diallo, Lenormand, Mepham, Grabara, all part of the back 5. Jayden Bogle's now on the bench today. Shackleton, Castrovilli, Rios and Lojny there too. The front 4, I mean, look at them. Lanes, Boyer, Campbell and Tipple. We know them all well. Victor Siganov's an FM legend, but we're a strong side. And Kovac, I feel, is the weakness to this Palace team, as is old age. Now, we're not much younger, but we've got a lot of quality, and I think we'd outdo Kovac on the tactical front. Let's go to Selhurst Park, though, our old stomping ground. Hopefully we get a good reception. As it's a United corner early doors, 9 minutes on the clock. Zouma heads away as far as Kakare. Brings it over the halfway line, completely unopposed. It's a good counter from Palace, and we know it's their strength. Tyrese Campbell down the right, back to Zouma, who's flown up the pitch. Gets to the byline himself, delivers towards Chris Tipple. Headers comfortably over the bar. Not the best start, and we've got done in that fullback area where Pavati would be. But it's still goalless, and as long as we get a result, I'm pretty happy with how we stand. There's a free kick for Victor Siganov. Zouma heads over. Few worrying signs here. We knew Palace were strong at set pieces. We know they're good on the counter. That's what we built our foundations on with them. And we're giving them far too many free kicks at the moment. As Selly and Boyer, linked with us in January, almost scores against us in March. Just over the bar, it had Meslier worried. Palace, probably the better side. As we're back with 10 minutes to half-time, it has not been a good game so far, though Bordenelli has the ball at left-back, plays up to Rashford, Jalocca wide to Zolis. We need to counter at speed, get in behind this aging back 4. Back to Jalocca, Bruno Fernandes, deflected in off his own man. Fernandes given the goal because it was on target, but it was going straight at the keeper, and it's diverted right into the opposite corner of the net. 1-0 against the run of play, we have to admit. But now we're starting to get on top with Bordenelli on the left, throwing into Fernandes. Big ball up towards Yakubu. Grabara does well. We've been on the other side of his heroics against United before. But at the moment, we've managed to get past him. And as long as we keep Palace at bay, it will be alright. They've got the long kick, which is headed away by Inacio to Jalocca. Be lovely to get 2 or 3 up and rest people for the cup game. As Jalocca again to Zolis. Through ball, intercepted by Lenormand. What a bit of defending that is. Long ball up to Campbell. He's got Tipple in support. And that's the danger against the front 2. Wonderful tackle, though, from Gaia at the last second. And it falls to Campbell too quickly. He can't get it on target. Inacio playing out with Fofana. Meslier's kick, not the best, but brought down by Zolis. He finds Bordenelli at left back. Comes over halfway. Siganov challenges him. Fernandes gives it away. Poor possession from him. Campbell runs in behind. Back to Siganov. Up towards Chris Tipple. Flicked on again. That's easy enough to deal with. Palace, though, have given us a big threat here. We've got to perform better than this. And Ponza's not been great in the middle. We've given the ball away too much, but we have got speed on the counter with Yakubu. Down the right to the byline. Multiple men in the box. Headed away towards Tazales. It's a terrible bit of defending. I was almost lining up the commentary for headed away at the back post, because that Palace defence was always rock solid from the aerial threat. But it's missed. It's completely misjudged by the Normans. The right back doesn't get there, Zuma. And it's fired in off the underside of the bar from Zolis. And for all of Palace's brilliant play, they've had no shots on target. And we lead 2-0 at half-time. And if we can get a few points clear in this title race, it allows us to prioritise the cups. Well, we've got about 25 minutes left. Zolis is looking tired as well. But I'm not sure he's someone we want to rest yet. Although Rashford didn't play on Thursday, he's looking fairly fit. So I'm going to bring Mbappe on, and I'll put Rashford over to the left-hand side. I'm also going to bring on Russell Thompson for Yakubu, because he only played about half an hour in the end in the midweek game due to his little knock. And then Fernandes has got to come off too. I'm going to bring on Ash Agumbi for him, and we'll push Jalocca forward a bit further for the last 25. 2-0 Manchester United. It's not about being flamboyant and attacking now. It's about making sure we cling on. As Agumbi, the sub, picks the ball up in his own half, gives it away. Not what we needed. Tipple to Siganov. He's switched to the left now. Boyer finds Campbell. Into Chris Tipple. We know the quality he's got. He's so unfortunate. It hits the inside of the near post, goes across the line, and somehow beats the far post out for a goal kick. I don't know how the laws of physics allow that, but it looks like we're going to win. It looks like we're going to stretch that lead at the top. And if we have a look now at the league table, we are 8 points clear with 8 games to go because of the stupid points getting dropped by our rivals. Consistency costing them, though Rios is in behind. He's playing up front now. Good save, Meslier, from the long range shot. 5 minutes left. We don't want to get too excited just yet. We know they've got a threat in the air. It's going to be a corner kick taken by Siganov. Up to the back post, Fofana heads away. Tyrese Campbell gets there first. Gets into the box. Beats 2 men, puts it wide. I'm going to drop to a counter-attacking mentality here. 5 minutes to go. Let's make sure nothing silly happens as they're pressing high on Bordinelli and Agumbi. Switch of play isn't the best. Diallo wins it. Siganov brings it down the left. He skinned his fullback Gaia. Good delivery to Campbell. And it's 2-1. VAR will check it. There's nothing wrong with that. And how many times have we been on the other end of this? Palace shocking teams late on. And it looks like they've managed to keep that without us. The goal is awarded. And we might be in trouble. 3 minutes of stoppage time. We've clung on for a crucial 3 points. The performance of champions is here. We weren't at our best. It wasn't vintage. But we've won the game. And we've managed to give people a rest too. We've got Liverpool away in the FA Cup in just 3 days' time. And that one, in terms of a trophy hunt, is just as important. I'll see you in a minute for it. Fitness test time. A big FA Cup game in question. And it looks like virtually everyone's made it. Johnny's not quite back yet. Sancho will be a while. But all the ones that were there at the weekend look like they're all fit. Is anyone struggling for conditioning? I would imagine Liverpool are going to go quite strong. Certainly looks so from there. Though maybe 1 or 2 being rested. Let's see what 11 we can put together though. It is everyone fit. That is a great sign. I'm going to bring in Kylian Mbappe up front for Rashford, who had a poor game last week and has played relentlessly since the Mbappe injury. I'm also going to make some changes on the bench. We'll do that very quickly. We'll be back in a minute to run through it. So the second change from the starting lineup at the weekend is Pavati back in at left back, but everything else is first choice. The rest for Fernandes and for Yakubu worked. And on the bench, we've sort of gone a bit of a mixed bag. Hannibal's back from his fatigue. He's going to make an impact off the bench, I'm sure. Rashford is in there. A couple of others drop out like Shirky who have got knocks. But we're as strong as we can be. And this game, followed by Newcastle on Saturday, a decisive before the international break and then a big run-in. The Liverpool v Manchester United, we won away last time at them. But the FA Cup, it does funny things to Liverpool, doesn't it? Let's see how they perform today. 5 changes for the hosts. The likes of Felix, Branthwaite, Gomez out. They bring in the likes of Jones, Gavardiol and Smith-Rowe though. So we know it's a quality team regardless. But they've been inconsistent this season under Thomas Frank. They're still nowhere near in the league. But FA Cup, they often perform fantastically in. So we're going to ask the lads to do what they can. We're going to go out with our balanced mentality. and I just hope that we can get on the front foot and somehow get the result. We're back with 12.5 minutes on the clock as Curtis Jones picks the ball up for Liverpool in the middle, releases João Pedro in number 10, and they're keeping it and moving it pretty well here as Smith Rowe gets himself in. It is not the best defending, but Ilhan Meslier comes to the rescue, tips it behind for a corner kick. Liverpool have the first clear-cut chance of the match as Smith Rowe, the man who missed it, takes the corner to the back post, headed over the bar. Not a good start from United. We did bottle it against the Merseyside rivals Everton in the League Cup semi-final, and in the last 16 of the FA Cup, when the draw's starting to open up beyond this, the winners at home to West Ham, it looks like again we're producing a poor performance as Liverpool hit the crossbar. It's dominance from the hosts at Anfield at the moment. We've just got to cling on and get to half-time at this rate, because at the moment, it only looks like one team scoring, as Smith Rowe's got another corner into the front post. Solis heads away. Don't forget this is what the weekend's match was like though. Then we hit Palace on the counter. Against Liverpool, we've not even had a sniff. Half an hour gone, lucky it's goalless. Well, I was about to say we're lucky to get to half-time here, but we haven't. There's 1 minute of stoppage time to be added, and Liverpool unmarked at the back post, and Meslier has just dropped it in his own net. He'd kept us in the game till that point. But this is one of the worst performances I've seen in ages. We've had one shot on target. Liverpool have had tons. I'm going to go back to our usual attacking style and try and hit them at the start of the second half. Because that rest for Fernandes clearly hasn't worked. The motivation clearly isn't there. And Kylian Mbappe just doesn't look fit. So could be big changes in the second period. Let's get into it. See if we can find an equaliser. Well, an hour gone without a chance on goal. And I don't want to use an old cliche from real life here, but this Manchester United side is starting to look a bit Spursy, if you know what I mean. Because we're getting to the latter stages of competitions and then just not turning up. And Ponza has had a shocking game, so Hannibal's going to have to make that impact off the bench. I'm not sure which way round they're best. I think I'd like to get Jalocka further forward because he's a more advanced player. And Hannibal's better on the ball in that deeper role. In terms of striker, it's going to be Rashford for Mbappe, who's not looked fit today. And Bruno Fernandes has been appalling. But if it goes to penalties, we know how crucial he could be. Let's bring on a Gumby. Jalocka will go number 10. In fact, Hannibal will go number 10. Let's go back to what we had. Jalocka box to box, a Gumby centre mid. Hannibal behind the substitute Rashford. Half an hour plus stoppage time to go. We need something from somewhere. And I don't see where it's coming at the moment. We've encouraged the lads, but we've managed one shot on target in 70 minutes. And I don't think we've seen an attacking highlight yet. Maybe we get the fitness advantage towards the end, but it's not showing at the moment. And we're going down with a whimper. This is pathetic. What more can we do? What more can we do? We can fire the lads up. We can push them on. We've gone very attacking. But we have not seen one attacking highlight in a whole game. And for the second time on Merseyside in a domestic cup this season, we have completely bottled a very good chance at a trophy. It was Everton in the League Cup. It's Liverpool in the FA Cup. And that might be the worst performance of the season. I know we've had some tough days on the road, but I can scarcely think of a game where we've created less than that. And I definitely haven't had one where we haven't had a highlight. I know the first game wasn't great at home to Brighton, but this, absolutely dismal. The pressure is now on to hold on to this Premier League title. It's not the trophy you would expect to win first, but I think now is probably the only one we're realistically going to get. If you look at the Europa Conference run, we've got Bilbao in the quarter-final. If we get through, we likely play Roma in the semi-final. It's certainly not going to be an easy run in that. I'm sure it'll be a tough team in the final too. And that performance just wasn't worthy of anything. Apparently we created a procession of fouls that meant it was hard for Liverpool to play their football. And there you go. Thomas Frank, he might not be having a great season with Liverpool. They're, fourth in the Premier League now, just 2 points above Arsenal. But it does look like he's going to win him a trophy. And for us, the jury's still out on that. That means we are now down to 2 competitions. Everton have already wrapped up a Europa Conference place because they won the League Cup after beating us in the semi-final. And we've given Liverpool a great chance at the FA Cup. But we're in the quarter-final of the Europa Conference. We've got Bilbao in a 2-legged tie. Then we face the winner of the Roma game in the semis. We've also got an 8-point lead in the Premier League with 8 games to go. And for all of our disappointments when it's mattered most, We have largely been consistent this year, just 3 draws and 3 defeats in the league. And that's when we're going to be back to see if we can edge closer to the title. We're going to show the second leg of Athletic Bilbao and the Tottenham game away. Will Arian Kalantari come back to haunt us? Who knows? And I know this is going to be a slightly longer season, but it's probably the most important one of the save, because if we challenge for the title but ultimately fall away and we don't win anything else, is our job potentially at risk? I know it sounds extreme at this point, and we should hang on for the title, but the way we're falling away under pressure, I wouldn't bank against it yet. If you did enjoy this episode though, a narrow victory against our former club Palace and a dismal effort against Liverpool in the FA Cup, please do put a thumbs up on the video. What are you making of the bottle jobs in all the competitions, and will the same thing happen next time? We've already had 2 away day defeats in the domestic cups. Will Bilbao hand us the same fate in April? We'll wait and see on that front. Do you think we'll win the league? Let me know down in the comments. Or are we going to start tripping up when we play those big away games later in April? If you want to stay up to date and find out, subscribe down below and turn that notification bell on. Please don't miss tomorrow's Hemel Hempstead episode. It's going to be an absolute barnstormer. The last one from yesterday is up in the eye above too. Please do give it a try. And there's links up there to the Twitch channel and the football podcast for regular content on both. Please do follow if you haven't already. But a massive thank you for your support as always. It is greatly appreciated. More disappointment in another cup. More than 4 years now without a trophy for United. But we can get closer to putting that right next month. And we're still fighting on 2 fronts. Above my head now you can see yesterday's Hemel episode. But thank you very much for watching. And I'll see you again next time as we head to Spain. Our last chance at cup silverware.